Stay tuned to the end of the video for a special discount code.
Crypt, the Pharaoh's Curse, the world's first trading board game, where the object of the game is to get the key into your hand, make it into an exit hex, and roll doubles to win.
Welcome to the Crypt tutorial on how to build your first starter deck. So you'll take out your starter, and you'll find in there's a key and your 3 characters, along with tournament rules and a regular set of rules. Inside there is an exit hex. This is very important. You have to have one of these in the game in order to play the game. The object of the game is to get your key in your hand, get to the exit hex, and roll doubles to win. So you put that up there. These are your tokens. You've got number tokens, and you've got tokens that could say for the character, the creature, the military unit, and the monsters. So you set those to the side. Next, you open up the hexes, and you see what hexes you have. In this instance, the Geomancer's Tomb. Magicians get +1 action in this. Magicians get +3 damage with this hex in the Crypt of Calamity. The Tomb of Keys is very good. You locate your key and then try to get out of the exit hex with it, of course. And then the Cavern of Peace. So we'll punch these hexes out, and it looks like it would best be with this character if they played a magician. So from these hexes, they sort of determine what you'd be best to play.
The Crypt characters are the Avenger, the Engineer, the Magician, the Spellmancer, the Undertaker, and the Warlord. These are your 6 characters in this second edition of Crypt, the Pharaoh's Curse. Each Crypt character excels in spells, weapons, or tech. The special ability is listed below this. Each character has life points, a dodge, and how much damage they can do when they hit. These are some of the basics of a Crypt character. Some final details on the character card. The minimum deck size is 25 cards, maximum 50. The card limits is the most is 4 of a kind, save for the special cards. Player's hand limit 10 cards, unless you have the pouch. And then it'll let you have up to 15. And then we have the card rarities, and they're separated by common, then special, and rare, extra rare, and ultra rare. And the characters can only have so many of those.
Welcome to part 2 of how to build a Crypt character. We had selected a magician from the Geomancer's Tomb and the Crypt of Calamity. We have our key card. Next, we open up our boosters. It's best to use a pair of scissors because they're tough packages. So we have a disruption. We look at the corner here. Try to bring that in so you can see it. It's a pouch. So you look for the pouches. Set the pouches. Before you do anything else, separate weapons. So that is how that goes for that pack. This pack here, same thing. Pouch, 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 pouch. Second level spell. Pouch. Third level weapon. Second level weapon. Pouch. We're going for 25 cards is what we're trying to do out of these. Next. Pouch. Pouch. First level. Any first level spell or any first level weapon, like a helm or that spell there, can go in the pouch packet as well, because any character can use these. Alright, second level weapon, another first level spell, another first level weapon, pouch, and pouch. So it's looking pretty close. This character is going to have at least 25 cards. The minimum you have to have. Alright, so, first level spell, pouch, second level tech, haven't seen too many of those, pouch, weapon, pouch, 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 and a second level spell. So now the magicians can use up to second level spells, and they can use it to medium weapons. So the magician cannot use this. The magician can use these two spells. The magician can use this medium weapon, can use these two medium weapons. So these would be discarded and you would not be able to use these. And you would add that key and that would be your deck. And in this case, it's over 25, I'm certain.
So we skipped over it really quick at the very beginning, explaining about the different types of cards that a character can use. And it's really important. When we started off with, I mentioned that every character can use a card with the symbol of the pouch on it. And that's that little symbol right there. But characters are limited to how many weapons they can use, how much tech they can use, or how many spells they can use. The next step in getting started playing Crypt is you get together and everybody shuffles their decks, and then each player draws 3 cards. Then you roll the dice to see who goes first, and the player that starts draws a 4th card. In this next segment on how to play Crypt, we're going to talk about the hexes. So the hexes are the rooms that randomly form a crypt. They have the same rarities as the cards, and the 4-of-a-kind limits as well. Hexes have events that have specific character benefits. For instance, this one gives a +1 action to the Undertakers.
Crypt involves mixing your hexes. Before you got your hexes from the booster, you got your exit from the starter. You mix the hexes together. You mark your hexes if you're in a tournament setting. If not, then you just mix them together and shuffle them. And draw the first hex. And that's how you start.
It's very important that you ignore any events on the starting hex until every player has had a turn. Another player rolls any event's damage. Something like the traps, you roll the damage for that. Players may defend and dodge events. Players have to add a minimum of 5 hexes, and those 5 hexes have to include an exit, but no more than just 1 exit. It's very important. Players combine their hexes into 1 hex pile, and then you randomly build the crypt as you move throughout the game. You put a little mark on the hex so it's easy to distinguish it, and then you set them together. Hexes also have to be connected specifically.
So you're in the starting hex and you decide to explore. You flip over the first hex and you must attach it. You must attach it correctly to one of these points and then move into it and take the event.
As we mentioned at the very end of the last short, that the hexes have to be connected. These are the doorways that they connect with. If there is no connection, you cannot pass through unless you use a chisel to chew your way through the wall. Otherwise, you have to navigate through the crypt as it's built. This makes the game random every single time. In this next section about hexes, we're going to talk about hex events. Each hex has text called events, explaining what always occurs when a character enters the hex. Events can include traps, monsters, special room conditions, drawing or discarding cards, or even healing effects. Some hex events may be used as an action by a character. Using a hex event, such as the Hall of Brigands, automatically damages the user. And the user may not defend against this damage. It's really important. When you move into a hex, you automatically take the event, and you can use it, as in this one, but it will damage you. So, the character, the Undertaker, explores, moves into the Tomb of Death. Once they're in the Tomb of Death, or whatever tomb, they immediately take the event. In this instance, it's damage. This would be subtracted from the character's life points. If the character had been an engineer, they would have ignored the event. In Crypt the Pharaoh's Curse, we have monsters for you to fight. It is important to remember when you defeat a monster, you draw 3 cards. When a character moves into a hex where there's a monster, the token M is used for the creature. Only one monster appears in a hex at a time, and another player always rolls for the monster in combat. Monsters do not leave the hex they appeared unless dominated by a defeated player. See Domination. In this instance, the hex owner ignores the monster. The character remains in a hex. The defeated monster does not reappear unless another character enters. In this case, the monster attacks the character that just entered until attacked by the character that defeated it. Monsters may be ignored with specific character benefits. In this case, the monster does not appear. If another character enters the hex, and the monster appears, the monster continues to ignore the character, unless, of course, the monster is attacked by the character with the specific benefit. This next section is on tabled cards in a hex. So you can table a card and place a little token for it, and that way you know it's going to be there. So, cards such as a trap, nerve gas, or an agent become hex events at the end of the turn they're placed. They do not affect the player who placed them. When a hex has more than one event, the hex event itself goes first. Then these other events, such as the creatures, are added to it. Character-specific benefits, or owner-specific benefits. These benefits only work while the character type is within the hex. These can include ignoring the event, a +1 action, or +3 damage. The benefits are never ignored or blocked. It's very important. And that's the trading board aspect, is you will bring a bunch of these cards and add them into the hex pile. That way you control the board. Escaping from hexes. If the player makes the escape roll or completes the required event, they automatically move out of the hex, unless the player wishes otherwise. Players always get an escape roll on their free action. No. 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 Yes. Crypt the Pharaoh's Curse, where death is just the beginning. So the play methods for Crypt the Pharaoh's Curse are use and discard, use and return to hand, table, table in front of a target, table until destroyed, table in a hex, multi, use and discard, table while in use and discard when the user leaves the hex, and lastly, play any time. There are 8 card natures in this second edition of Crypt the Pharaoh's Curse. The first is an activity. The second are alterations. Then there are attacks. Following that, of course, defenses. Then there are what are called attack enhancements. And of course, defense enhancements. And lastly, the epic modifiers. The
Tabled cards. When a card is tabled, it is set face up on the table in front of the user or target, or placed in a hex. See hex events. Tabled cards in a hex. A token may be used to represent the card and save space. Tabled card as an action or defense for immediate or future use. If tabled as an attack defense, play out the attack defense right then. There is no limit to the number of cards that may be tabled during a game. The user may return an undamaged tabled card to their hand. Only one card may be tabled per action, except for modifiers or attached alterations and enhancements.
The next segment in How to Play Crypt the Pharaoh's Curse, we're talking about attached cards. Now, attaching cards is very important. For this instance, we're going to show you the first alteration. You can attach any one alteration or any one attack enhancement or defense enhancement to any one card. So the first is going to be a phase. This next action is going to be an attack that's a short bow. So we're phasing the short bow, and we're going to add 5 points of damage. Next up, we talk about agents, creatures, and military units. These cards are tabled as an attack or as a guard. Any actions of the agents are done instead of acting with the character. So you place them, and then you use them. And they have all kinds of unique abilities. Each one attacks differently. Some of them have immunities and resistances, which defend you against specific types of attacks. Part 2 of Agents. When tabled, the player may attack with the agent during the same action phase. Players may target another player's agents. In this instance, the user may only play a defense card from their hand or use the agent's dodge. When using an agent to attack, the card or a token representing the card itself is placed into any hex. Then, attack any target within range. See hex events. Tabled cards in a hex. When using an agent as a guard, the card is tabled to be treated as a shield. That can be used to attack, moving with the character. A guard may not be tabled as a defense unless specifically stated on the card. When you have to roll a dodge for one of these agents or military units, it's done on a 2d6, score of 5 or lower in this instance. Agents in combat. The user always rolls the dice for the agent. The bar on the bottom of the card lists the agent's damage, life points, and dodge score. For example, as we can see, the life points are 10 here, and a 5 for a dodge, and it does 2d6, and its weapon is claws. And that's specifically in case you have an immunity to weapons. When using an agent in combat, you will see that agents have a damage. This one is a 3d6 hit. This one is a 2d6 weapon claws. But military units do the same amount of damage as they have remaining life points. This is very important. They are unique in this factor. They only inflict as much damage as they have life points remaining. And it's a flat number each time. In closing, creatures and military units are very useful for your character. Having a few of them in your deck will not hurt at all. They are something to rely on and something to use as a strategy. Always remember, Din is ready to face any enemy.
Go to cryptboardgame.com or crypttpc@gmail.com and place your order today.